Thanks for staying with us here. Now, let's move to Sudan, where we start off with the most interesting and I could say nerve-wracking conversation where bosses evacuating Nigerian students stranded, yes, in war-torn Sudan, were yesterday stopped in the middle of the Sahara Desert as the transporters insisted on completing their payment. Now, recall that chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NiDCOM, Mrs. Abike Dabiri-Erewa, has said on Monday that the federal government provided 150 million naira for the hiring of 40 buses to evacuate the stranded students to Cairo in Egypt.
Now, students were seen in a now viral video yesterday protesting their ordeal in the hands of the transport company, which asks its drivers to stop the journey halfway, complaining that only about 30% was paid to them. And of course, let's quickly share that clip with you.
Everything has finished. We are done. We don't have anything. We don't have anything. We don't have bus. We don't have anything. We don't have compass. Even now, our location. We're in an unknown environment with a very big danger.
Look at this place. All those things are
why is Nigeria?
Well, recall that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, disclosed that the government had expanded, or rather spent about $1.2 million on the evacuation of Nigerians stranded in Sudan. And we did speak a little bit about that yesterday. Now, this is even as the Air Peace, a carrier in Nigeria, had promised to airlift those evacuated to Egypt back home. And of course, this was some of the information that had emerged in the last 24 to 48 hours. They said yesterday that the students stranded may, of course, continue to wait a little longer in Cairo as the Egyptian government has denied its landing permit, insisting that diplomatic approval from the federal government must come first. But a tweet eventually made by Abike Dabiri, the chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NiDCOM, shared their views on what's going on, with the situation in Sudan. She confirmed that the buses had started moving and that the issues between the transport company and NEMA had been resolved. That's exactly tweets from NEMA and, of course, from Abike Dabiri yesterday. But, of course, we also got to see further revelations. An unconfirmed tweet yesterday. Well, I mean, the tweet is out there on social media, but we cannot verify if the person is truly on the bus, like he said. Did respond to Abike Dabiri's tweet yesterday saying that no, there was no settlement of any issues, like Abike Dabiri had said, that they only moved because the Nigerian students on the bus had to give their passports to the driver of the bus. And of course, those passports will be released when full payment is made when they arrive in Egypt. So it's basically just a lot of controversy that is, that has happened. There are people who believe that the Nigerian students are ungrateful for complaining, and making that video complaining about being stranded and left, in the middle of nowhere. There are those who believe also that the Nigerian government has a lot of questions to answer with regard spending $1.2 million. I saw someone who also put out a tweet yesterday sharing some information about the average cost of moving buses from Sudan to Egypt, which are about $6,500 maximum. And then asking the Nigerian government to clarify where they saw $30,000 buses to move students from from Sudan to Egypt. So there's that controversy. Why was this so expensive? Why did it cost $30,000 per bus? When there are other people who have shown that it's about $6,500 that it's taken, even in the war, period. So there's that part. There's also the part where people are questioning, of course, arrival of students in Egypt and what happens next right after they arrive in Egypt. And if the Nigerian governments did actually make full payments to these bus drivers or the bus companies to move them to Egypt or not. So these are some of the things and the questions that need to be answered. And I'm sure that there would be further response from the Nigerian government, of course, to all of this.
That's right. And also, initially, many thought that the buses were going to be purchased. Hence why that cost, because many were thinking that the government was going to buy these transport services or cars so that it will actually carry. But then again, it's a whole lot of back and forth. But let's also give you an update, by the way, that the name of the man mentioned yesterday, we did have a guest join us concerning this, Gift of the Givers.
Yes.
A South African, an NGO that was took it upon itself to go down there to Sudan and help repatriate and get some of the nationals out of Sudan. And while he was doing that, he had picked up a British citizen,
some American citizens and Nigerian citizens.
and then he got in touch with some Africans, and then a Nigerian in particular by the name Okosun Prosper from Benin. Yes, he said Okosun had a challenge. His passport had issues. So, I mean, here at News Central, we have taken it upon ourselves. We reached out to government officials yesterday, but nothing specific has been reported. We also got across to some of the Nigerians at the Egyptian border asking that if Okosun Prosper can be located. Yeah, that's his passport. We tried to ensure that he could be located, but we still haven't gotten any feedback yet. So anyone who has his contact can help. You could put a call across to him if you can and find out his exact location, if you can find out where he is currently. We're also going to go back to Gift of Givers guest who joined us, Suleiman, and find out what happened to him. Was he dropped off in Egypt? Because there was going to be a challenge of him crossing the border over to into Egypt before he could get some form of respite. So that's it. We're going to put a call across to him as well and find out his exact location and so on. But if you know him, please do us a favor as well. Put a call across to him. His name is Okosun Prosper. He's from Benin, of course. Let me put it that way. He's from Benin, okay? From Benin. Let me make it clear, and hopefully we'll get to him. So we'll give you an update on that story as well.
But of course, you know, the Nigerian government has said that Nigerian students will arrive today from the newspapers. Will likely arrive today in Egypt.
1,500.
Yes, will arrive today in Egypt. So we'll continue to follow up and see that nobody is left behind. And I think everyone's nerves should remain calm. It's a wartime, and so there will be mistakes, you know, every now and then, I believe.